Episode 330. The sky outside was already turning pale with the dawn. Ye Shu, still seated before his computer, stretched deeply. Then he sent the meticulously compiled step-by-step training software package to Concealed Light over QQ. By now, no one was left in the game. Tang Ru had logged off the earliest after running the Glazed Lands dungeon 3 times. She'd headed to bed around 4 o'clock. Ever since that shopping trip with Chen Guo, he'd switched to this new routine. He no longer stayed up with Ye Shu until dawn. Instead, he'd head to bed in the wee hours, always getting up a bit earlier than Ye Shu. Every morning when Ye Shu got up, he'd see Tang Ru and Chen Guo sitting at their usual spots, playing Glory. Then, around 3 in the afternoon, Tang Ru would head off to start her mid-shift. After Tang Ru logged off, Concealed Light finally couldn't take Steamed Bun Invasion's repeated taunts and goading any longer. He decided to settle things once and for all with a duel in the arena. Ye Shu, however, was dragged along by Steamed Bun to watch the match. As for the outcome of this fight, Ye Shu didn't even need to watch to know. At Concealed Light's current level, trying to PK with Steamed Bun was just too far out of his league. He'd lose 10 out of 10 matches, with absolutely no chance of an upset. The gap between them was simply that vast.
Now you finally see the gap between us, don't you? To be your boss. Actually, I'm the one who's been wronged.
Stepping out of the arena, Steamed Bun was beaming with pride. For someone like Steamed Bun, who could find fun anywhere, beating up noobs was nothing to be ashamed of. Concealed Light, on the other hand, remained silent. Ye Shu could faintly hear the sound of someone pounding their keyboard furiously. The noise was actually coming through his headset. Over at the live venue, it must have been deafening.
Steamed Bun, don't get too cocky.
Ye Shu felt he still needed to say a few words.
You just got a head start on the practice. What's so impressive about bullying Concealed Light, who's just starting to learn the ropes?
I was all set to teach him properly, but the stubborn kid wouldn't listen, so I had to give him a little lesson first. So, Concealed Light, was that vivid enough for you?
Steamed Bun kept on gloating. Who would ever believe he was trying to teach someone a lesson? You're just having a blast beating up on newbies.
Alright, go play by yourself.
Ye Shu shooed Steamed Bun away, then swung his view around to find Concealed Light still standing there, dumbstruck.
Don't be discouraged. You're just getting started.
Yeah, I know.
Hop on QQ later. I've got some stuff sorted out to send you.
It's been on the whole time.
Good.
The next few hours were a whirlwind of activity, scouring the web, compiling data, and sorting it all into distinct categories. This material isn't just for Concealed Light. Any Glory player who's serious about the game can use it. But these professional training methods used by pro players are incredibly monotonous. Most ordinary folks just don't have the discipline to stick with them. Without that commitment, no training regimen will ever yield results. From this, Ye Shu had now compiled a set suitable for a beginner like Concealed Light. Honestly, throwing a beginner straight into such a professional tool is pretty harsh. But in Ye Shu's view, for a new player like Concealed Light to have delved so deeply into the fundamental theory, it showed real grit and determination. The guy was clearly out to prove his skill. Baozi was mercilessly beating up the newbies, but Ye Shu mostly turned a blind eye, also hoping to motivate Concealed Light from this angle. It seems his plan was working. Bunny's uniquely infuriating brand of cluelessness was clearly driving Concealed Light up the wall. Can't you hear the frantic keyboard clacking coming through the headset? Concealed Light took the file package with repeated thanks, and Ye Shu immediately reminded him to pay attention to the order. As for how to use it, Ye Shu felt there was no need to waste words on someone like Concealed Light, who had such a studious spirit. After sending the files, Ye Shu glanced at his own computer. While organizing things, he'd also put together a few extra training packages. These were tailored specifically to Tang Ru and Baozi's current skill sets. But thinking of Baozi's usual antics, Ye Shu felt this rigid training method was probably a terrible fit for him. Baozi loved gaming because it brought him joy. But when that fun is gone, what kind of attitude this guy will have toward the game, well, that's anyone's guess. To become a pro player, it's not just about talent, skill, or game sense. The first and most crucial condition is a genuine passion for the game. Take Ye Shu, for example. He's been immersed in Glory for a full decade, yet his passion for the game hasn't dimmed in the slightest. He wasn't the only one. Every pro player who'd fought their way up through the Alliance had been drawn in by their love for the game. Their passion never faded with time. But your average player? They'll switch to a new game in a couple of months, sometimes even less. Such players are clearly unsuited to be pros. Even if their skills rival a professional's, without that passion, the spirit they show on the competitive stage will be worlds apart. Over the years, the league has seen its share of such players. They never amounted to much, that's a fact proven time and again. Steamed Bun Invasion. He's only interested because he finds it fun. He's new to Glory. The fresh content naturally has him hooked, brimming with enthusiasm. But how long will this kid's enthusiasm last? Yi Shu realized he still didn't know Steamed Bun Invasion well enough. I've only ever heard this kid's nonsense and banter. I really should learn more about his gaming background. Just where did this kid pick up all his gaming skills? But no matter what, specialized training like that just isn't the kind of thing you can force on someone like Steamed Bun. That would probably just kill his interest in the game, make him resent it. He needs to realize the problem himself, then consciously seek out this kind of help. This training package will have to be saved for him for now. The other one, however, is for Tang Ru. This girl had come to improve her skills, to defeat him. Such a laughable reason. Ye Shu hadn't believed she could stick with it for long. But now it seems this girl's tenacity and competitive drive are beyond the ordinary. Until she defeats me, she'll probably keep grinding away in Glory with relentless dedication. Even better, as she continued to learn and improve, gaining a deeper understanding of Glory, Tang Ru was realizing more and more that this game was far from the simple thing she'd once thought it was. Especially the person she'd been comparing herself to all along. For a rookie, that was a pretty unreasonable standard. But Tang Ru didn't know any of this, and even if she did, she wouldn't have cared. The more he played, the more he realized the gap. The more he understood this game was no simple matter. This girl's interest in Glory was slowly starting to take root.
Good. She's ready for this kind of training now.
Yi Shu thought to himself. He opened the training package he'd prepared for Tang Ru, reviewed it one more time, then closed it. He'd already decided to give it to her tomorrow. As for Steamed Bun's part, we'll leave it for now. Sometimes that kind of simple-mindedness is its own kind of depth. It's really hard for ordinary people to get into their headspace.